let's be honest, you've been trying to quit porn for a few years now, watching all this bullshit content that the YouTubers are like uploading, all these methods, these like shortcuts to quit porn, like nofap, semen retention, counting your days, all that shit. You tried all this shit out and yet you're still here after years of still having this addiction. Trust me, I've been in the same situation. I watch all like countless nofap videos, countless like advice for quitting porn. But at the end I was still like relapsing on porn and I didn't know like what to do because I still felt shitty about myself. So what I did is I took a step back and reflected like on my whole life. I closed like the web, the internet, I didn't watch YouTube and really think about why the fuck I'm actually addicted to the shit, why my lifestyle is like built around that, why I'm like feeling so shitty about myself. And I came across like an YouTuber and he had like these kind of like how's like these views on the world, on how people used to live like and how they live now and like how is that affecting their lifestyle, like all the shit that we are having right now, the internet, the reels, all this brain rot, the shitty food that we are eating, this like social system, this from the government that puts us in a like a slave system. And like no wonder that people are depressed nowadays and cope with porn, with shitty food, with snacks, with like you know. And the key when the the thing that I found out is that the way that our ancestors lived is the way to peak health and to get rid from all addictions. Because people back then they didn't live like they hadn't they didn't have this like dopamine overflow that we have nowadays. They had a very simple life, and this is what made them like happy overall and more in peace with themselves. So watched some content about that. I came across a specific diet. It's the called the raw meat diet, and it's specifically been built like it's specifically our natural human diet that we're supposed to eat. It contains like only meat, raw. The moment I ate like that, I started to eat like that. This is where I finally felt like I am in touch with nature again. Like my hormones got like normal again. My brain fatigue vanished. I didn't had any mental like problems anymore. I didn't have depression anymore. I could focus on anything that I want and I didn't have like these kind of mood swings now. And then I realized, fuck, like I lived the life that I was living before was conditioned me to watch porn and to do all this like shitty habits that we are doing nowadays. And yeah, I started to eat this diet, get more into nature, like replace my environment, be more social with other people instead of like sitting on my screen all the time. And yeah, this is like kind of what fixed my health, my porn addiction, my depression. And I want you to get to that same route because you're watching all these bullshit videos from the Red Pill YouTubers but still feeling like shitty about yourself. Trust me, the way that I'm like explaining this, the way that I'm doing it, where I quit porn and fix my other like lifestyle habits. This is way better, and this is the key to finally finally live again and quit porn forever, and not this bullshit that these other YouTubers are praising. So yeah, if you came across this channel, congrats. You don't need another one, like you don't need another channel, another video, another guide on how to quit porn, or any health kind of thing, because this is the only thing that you need. And yeah, so how's that? The first step is like look into your life, what areas, like you're probably watching like YouTube all the time, brain rot, eat shitty food. And what I suggest you to start is with your diet. And because I started with that, and it became really easy when I fixed my diet, that I could like bring in my other habits. I first started to cut off all the sugar, all the shitty sugar that I was eating. It was hard at first, but I replaced it with more like fruit sugar, like more natural stuff, and go way further, like by time, replace more and more till you like on a more natural diet. And if you eat more natural, like more fruits, more vegetables, more like things that the earth was giving us, like more meat, then try to only go into a meat diet where you can eat eggs and some shit, like an animal-based diet. The moment you get to that is by time, reduce the eggs, eat only the meat, and then suddenly go more raw into the raw kind of direction. It's gonna be weird at first because like your body doesn't really um is prepared for that, but when you start like this, you will instantly feel like a serotonin boost, because meat has all the nutrients that you need to function, to be healthy, to like have energy, especially when you eat it raw. So yeah, go into this direction further and further, and replace more of this cooked meat to the more raw meat, until suddenly you cut off all the cooked food and only eat the raw meat diet. You know, there are gonna be some days where you're gonna slip up, but this is like the way, for me, the best way, like that I have personally found out to fix all my addictions, because it will like regulate your dopamine system to a baseline level and make you more in touch with nature. So you don't want to like replace it with any artificial stuff that we as humans created to like get a kind of dopamine rush. So yeah, when you are successfully on this diet, you can try to change, like you need to try to change your environment after that. Try to get more into like natural like environments and not just spend your time in your room, because your room is like your biggest enemy with your phone. When you get bored and stressed, which will fix automatically when you're on a more natural diet, it's more likely for you to just like slip up in your room, because there's like you have privacy, there's no like restrictions. But being in a natural environment will fix that in combination with eating your natural diet. So do that, and you will just feel amazing. Your cortisol levels will shrink. Your your skin is gonna clear up. Get rid from depression and rid from porn eventually. After 2 to 3 months, this is where like most your basically healed mentally and don't have the need to watch porn anymore. You will quit it, I promise you. But you need to stay on that lane for it's like a long-term thing. We need to be consistent with this. So stick to that. I promise you it will work. By the way, if you want to take the shit seriously and want to get all the information in a step-by-step guide, then click the link down below and join my community. I have a full blueprint on how to quit porn and how to start this diet. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.